Hey guys, we are next to the Leaning Tower of Tires here in Kurt's shop, and we are starting a very laborious, probably not so fun project, and that is replacing the floor pans in this XJ. And by that I mean we're going to do them all the fronts and the back piece as well. You can see right now we've got this one just laid over the top, and we're kind of in the process of cleaning out the inside, pulling the seats out, pulling the interior out. What we're going to do is we're going to lay them all in just like this one is, and then we can see how the pieces line up and overlap, and we can decide where we're going to end up cutting, because you can see right here, obviously we don't want to cut this section out, so we'll have to kind of determine where the pieces are going to be, where we're going to be able to weld to, and probably lay everything out, trace some lines, and then go from there. The first thing we did after we pulled it in here was actually drop the tank, and that was just so that we didn't have that as a liability underneath while we're cutting and welding right on top of it, which I guess if you tucked a welding blanket on top of it or something you could, but it's way easier just to pull the tank out. It's a couple hoses and 2 straps, so not too bad. What we're gonna get to first here tonight, I guess, is just pulling the rest of this interior out, and once we get that out, then we'll kind of show you where we're at. Okay, we got all the seats out. So just a quick note, there's 3 different sizes that you need for the seats. The rear seats are bolted on here, and those are a 15mm, and then up in the front seats there are 2 different sizes. This one here on the back inside corner, it's the same on both sides, those are 11/16, and then there's one here, and then 2 up in the front that you get to from the front. Those are 13mm. So those are all out. We're going to keep clearing all the rest of this stuff out, and then pull the center console out next, and I'll let you know what size those are once we get those out. I'm guessing that there's probably a couple in the bottom of this, and then just some screws and stuff like that buried up underneath there. So we'll get that out next and let you know what that is, and then we're going to rip all the carpet out. Little bit of an update right here. This was the centerpiece here. That was 2 Phillips that you could see right here, and then underneath the surround for the shifter here there was 2 more Phillips here and here, and then once that came off, then you could see that there were 2 more here that hold this whole piece on, and then 2 more there, and then there was one underneath the little bezel for the 4-wheel drive shifter here as well. And then you can see now that the whole thing is, it's wedged in there pretty good up on the front here, but yeah, that'll have to move, but it should be not too bad. Okay, pull that out. We've got one light
in there
that we got hooked in there.
There's also a light on the
oh yeah, there's
panel.
also one light that sticks in the back of the shifter panel. That's not too bad. This one is, I think, the same as that, where it's just a twist. Yep, there you go. And then that's out. For the seat belts here, there's just one big ass Torx bolt there. That's a T45, I think is what it was.
T50.
T50 for that, and then there was also right under the center of the door here, there's a T50 on either side also. That's for the back seat. I forgot to mention that one before. So the center is off here. We got to get one more seat belt off, and then we're going to pull the carpet and kind of see what we're working with. All right, so we got all of the interior out, and you can kind of see what we're working with here and why we decided to do this in the first place.
I'd say it's necessary, yeah.
Yeah, we would agree that it's necessary. The front especially, over there we got pretty big hole. Do you want to plug that back in?
45.
In the process of pulling the carpet out of the front, it became kind of necessary to pull off these side panels, which is just 5 Phillips screws right there. And then once that was out of the way, the carpet was kind of wedged behind the seat belt thing here, and as you see a little bit, we just cut around there rather than pulling this all off. We did not get this seat belt buckle off either. I actually broke the bit off in there, and that was the only one we had, but I was able to slide the carpet around this. So once we had this panel off and that panel off and cut around the seat belts there, I just grabbed from back here the edge and just kind of worked it backwards. It's a little tough to get over the e-brake here, but other than that, it kind of just came forward as one big piece and wasn't too bad to get out. So we'll have to pull that other piece of foam, it looks like. Probably sound deadening. Yep, foam and rubber up in here just to see how far up we need to go. But everything is out and we kind of have a starting point. So now we can see what we're working with. We got some good metal to weld to, which is nice. But we're gonna throw those other pieces in here to just kind of see where everything lays out. And then once everything's laid out, we can start making lines. Like you can see, I've got a couple there where that other one is. Start making some lines, see where we're gonna cut. Stuff can get cut, and then while it's cut, while the floors are out, we'll be cleaning all this stuff out of the frame rails, doing any little repairs to the frame rails that we need. For the most part, they are rusty, but they're solid. It's
Surprisingly solid.
Surprisingly solid, actually, yeah. So there'll be little things like this will need to get repaired, and this little hole right here, we'll want to repair that. But for the most part, the frame rails are solid, no holes or anything like that. So that's good, at least. So I guess the next thing is just kind of see where everything lays and what we got to cut out. So we're gonna throw those in there and see what we got. Okay, so you can see kind of what we're gonna be looking at here. So this one covers pretty much the majority of the back, and these ones cover the front pretty well. We'll have to work around. There's a cross brace right about there that we'll have to work around, which is fine. That gives us extra sheet metal. We can cut and weld as necessary there. We are going to have to find something for this section here. You can see we've got a little bit of rust through there, especially on that side. That's not too bad,
100%.
or not too good. So we'll have to find something in here, whether we just get sheet metal or if we can find a panel for in there. If you guys know one, put a link in the comments or something like that. But otherwise, I mean, I guess at this point, it's the next step is clean a little bit more and then start cutting floors out and see what we work with. We'll probably do the back first, just because I think it's probably going to be much easier than the fronts, because it's just a big flat panel. So not too bad, but well, that's kind of what we got for this video. It's probably a little boring, but this is the nitty-gritty of it and kind of what we're starting with and what we're going to be working from. So I guess that's what you get, and we'll keep you updated as to how it goes and what we're going into and what the end result is. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.